Okay, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to solve metric conversion problems. But first I want to remind you what the metric system is. It's an international system of measurement that uses meters for length, liters for volume, and grams for mass. And they use prefixes to show if it's like a really, really big meter or a really, really small meter or a really, really big liter or a really, really small gram. The prefixes are kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, and milli. Kilo means 1,000 of something, so kilometers are 1,000 meters, kiloliters are 1,000 liters, etc. Hecto means 100, so a hectogram is 100 grams. Deca means 10, like a decade. Decagrams are 10 grams each. Usually right here I write units for the base units. That's just if there's no prefix, like a meter is just 1 meter or a liter is just 1 liter. A liter is just 1 liter. A deciliter, though, is a tenth of a liter. So 0.1 is the same thing as saying 1/10. A centiliter is 0.01 or 1/100th. And a millimeter or a milliliter or a milligram is 0.001 of the base unit, which is the same as saying 1,000th. So milli is really, really small and kilo is really, really big. So part of solving these problems is being able to visualize whether it should be a really big number or a really, really small number. So for example, if you have 1,000 meters, the number 1,000 is a pretty big number, but if you're to convert that to kilometers, that's just 1 kilometer. So 1 kilometer is lots and lots and lots of everything else. All right, so the mnemonic device that we use to solve these problems is King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. So that just matches the kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli. And that's so you don't have to memorize things. Because when you're solving these problems, all you're really doing is moving a decimal point, and you use the mnemonic device in order to know how many places to move it and in which direction. So let's say, for example, you have a problem that asks you to convert 87 milliliters to hectoliters. So they gave you a number that you start with. It's 87.0, and it's in milliliters. So I write out the mnemonic by just first initial. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And we want to go from milli to hecto. And so if we're starting at milli, we count from the M over to the H. How many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters to the left. So we move the decimal point 5 spaces to the left. So I'm going to move that number over here. 87.0, we have to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you put it there. So then your answer is 0.00087 hectoliters. That's the same number as 87 milliliters. Just the way that you measure it is changing. It's the same amount of fluid. So let's do another example. Let's say we wanted to convert 14,000 grams to kilograms. So write out the mnemonic again. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Figure out where you're starting at. Grams is a base unit. So we're starting at the U, and we want to get to kilo, which is the K. So we have to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left in order to get the right answer. So we're starting with 14,000, and we've got the decimal points over here. We're moving it 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. That means 14.0 kilograms is the answer. 14.0 kilograms is the same exact amount of stuff as 14,000 grams. It's just a different way to measure it. And it makes sense because kilograms are really, really big, so there'd be less of them than there would be of grams. All right, third example. This one's going to be from the practice worksheet that's posted. This is going to be number 4. It says, convert 0.01 meters to centimeters. So if we're starting with 0.01 meters, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Once again, we're starting with a base unit. We're trying to get to centimeters, which is here. So that's 2 letters over to the right. So that means we move the decimal point 2 spaces to the right to get the answer. So 0.01 meters, if we move the decimal place twice to the right, the decimal point ends up to the right of the 1. So 1.0 centimeters is the answer. That is equal to 0.01 meters. It's the same amount of distance. It's just 2 different ways to measure it. And that's going to be it for the examples. The rest of the problems, that's exactly how they work. You're just moving the decimal point and you use the mnemonic device. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk in order to figure out what direction and how many spaces to move the decimal.